Have you ever wondered how some women effortlessly catch the attention of wealthy, successful men? Is it about their looks, their charm, or something deeper? In today's podcast, we're diving into the art of building genuine, meaningful connections with wealthy men, not through materialism, but through authenticity and shared values. Whether you're hoping to attract someone special or simply understand how to approach relationships with confidence, stay tuned, because the secrets to making a lasting connection are coming up next. Part 1. Understanding what really attracts wealthy men. All right, let's get right into it. You know, when we talk about attracting wealthy men, it's easy to think that it's all about the luxury, the status, and the money. But if we're being honest with ourselves, that's not what keeps a wealthy man interested in the long run. It's not the fancy cars or the private jets, although yes, they can certainly catch someone's attention. But here's the thing. A lot of wealthy men, especially those who have truly built their success from the ground up, don't fall in love with the things you can offer them. They fall in love with the person you are, and here's why. Money, luxury, status. All of that is easy for them to give. It's almost like second nature, but the real connection comes from something deeper: emotional vulnerability, mutual respect, and genuine companionship. They want to feel understood. They want someone who sees them for who they really are, not just for the lifestyle they can provide. Now, I'm not saying that wealth doesn't play a part in a relationship. It obviously does. But if you're only attracted to the lifestyle, or you're looking for someone who's going to just shower you with gifts and treat you like royalty without any real connection, that's when things start to fall apart. Wealthy men, like anyone else, want a relationship that's authentic. They want someone who values them for more than just the perks they bring to the table. Part 2. Understanding why you need to bring value to the relationship. Now let's take a step back for a moment. Before we talk about how to meet these men, let's address a very important question. Why do you want to attract a wealthy man in the first place? I know that sounds like a big question, but it's crucial to understand. Are you looking for the lifestyle? Are you seeking financial security? Or are you genuinely looking for a meaningful emotional connection? It's okay to be honest with yourself about your intentions. But here's the thing. If you're only focused on the lifestyle, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Because honestly, a wealthy man can buy anything except for genuine love and connection. If you want something real, you need to bring value to the table. Let me give you an example. Imagine you meet a successful businessman at an event. He's charming, well-spoken, and clearly has everything anyone could wish for. Now let's say you're only interested in the extravagant experiences he can offer. Dinners at exclusive restaurants, shopping sprees, and lavish vacations. Sure, he might enjoy spoiling you for a while, but eventually, he's going to start looking for something more than just someone who enjoys the perks of his wealth. But if you show him that you can add value to his life, whether it's through intelligent conversation, emotional support, or being someone who respects his time and goals, that's when you'll start to build a deeper connection. Wealthy men often get used to people wanting them for what they have, so when they meet someone who wants them for who they truly are, it becomes a game changer. I'll be honest with you, ladies. You need to ask yourself, what makes me unique? What do I bring to this relationship that he can't find anywhere else? And trust me, it's not about being perfect or trying to be someone you're not. It's about being confident, kind, and emotionally available. So before you think about how to get into these circles or meet these men, think about this. Are you the kind of woman who will add value to their life? Or will you just be another person enjoying their lifestyle without truly connecting with them on a deeper level? Part 3. Building genuine connections. Alright, so now that we've established why it's so important to bring value to the relationship, let's talk about how you actually get there. How do you build meaningful connections with wealthy men without coming off as desperate or worse, superficial? First things first, stop looking at every man as a potential partner the moment you meet him. This is one of the most common mistakes I see. It's easy to think that every guy you meet, especially in these high society circles, could be the one. But here's the thing. When you approach a man with the mindset that he's the key to unlocking your dreams, that's when you lose authenticity. Men, especially successful ones, can sense desperation from a mile away, and that's not attractive. Instead, think of each encounter as an opportunity to build a genuine connection. A real connection is not about impressing him with your looks or acting like you know everything about his world. It's about being open, being yourself, and being present in the moment. I know it might sound cliché, but it's true. When you try to impress someone with the wrong intentions, they will feel that and it can turn them off. But when you're just yourself, confident in who you are and not trying to play a role, it creates the space for something real to develop. Let's look at a situation. Imagine you're at an event and you end up having a conversation with a billionaire. Instead of immediately talking about his business empire or the luxurious lifestyle he leads, why not ask him something different? Ask him about his values, what drives him, or what his passions are outside of work. You'd be surprised how many wealthy people actually enjoy talking about these things because, in their world, they often feel like everyone just wants to talk about their money. If you focus on building a genuine relationship where the conversation isn't about you trying to get something from him, he's more likely to see you as someone valuable, someone he wants to keep around, not just for the good times, but for who you are. And that doesn't just apply to men. The same goes for women too. Think about the friendships you have, whether with other women or people in general. If you approach your relationships with authenticity, kindness, and respect, they become much more fulfilling. It's the same concept, but on a larger scale. So, the takeaway here is simple. Instead of hunting for a partner or trying to fit into a mold of what you think a wealthy man wants, focus on being the best version of yourself. A confident, self-aware woman who isn't trying to impress anyone, but instead just being real. Build connections based on shared values, common interests, and mutual respect. That's what's going to make you stand out in the long run. Part 4, Cultivating Your Own Value. Now that we've covered the importance of genuine connections, let's talk about something else that's equally crucial: cultivating your own value. I know many of you might be thinking, well, I'm not rich, so how can I possibly bring any real value to the table? But here's the thing. Value doesn't always mean money or material possessions. Value is about what you bring to the relationship in terms of your character, your mindset, and your own personal growth. Imagine this. You've met a successful, wealthy man, and there's a strong connection between the two of you. But here's the catch. You also want to be sure that you have your own life, your own pursuits, and your own ambitions. Why? Because the truth is, the richest man in the world doesn't need someone who's entirely dependent on him. He's looking for someone who can stand on their own 2 feet, someone who challenges him, someone who has her own life story, and, most importantly, someone who is growing just as he is. This is where the power of personal development comes in. Whether it's pursuing your career, building your own wealth, or simply becoming the best version of yourself, working on yourself adds value to your life in ways you may not even realize. A man who has achieved success will admire a woman who is passionate about her own growth and who has her own aspirations. Let's take a scenario to illustrate this. Say you're working on a project at work, something you're truly passionate about. You put in the hours, you develop your skills, and over time you start to see the fruits of your labor. One day, you're having a conversation with this wealthy man and he asks you about your work or personal goals. You don't have to boast about how amazing you are, but you can simply share your journey, what you've learned, the challenges you've faced, and how you've grown through it all. That's value. That's something he can respect and appreciate. On the flip side, if you're in a relationship with someone who constantly needs you to affirm his value, who doesn't have any goals of his own or isn't working towards growth in any area of his life, it can become exhausting. Relationships where only one person is evolving rarely last because there's no mutual growth. This is why it's so important to build your own life, passions, and dreams. You don't need to be as successful as him to bring something valuable to the relationship. What matters is that you have your own ambitions, that you are dedicated to growing and improving yourself, and that you're striving to become the best version of yourself. This is what attracts someone who values not just what you have, but who you are. So, how do you start cultivating your own value? Start by identifying areas in your life where you want to grow. It could be something as simple as learning a new skill, reading more, developing your career, or even improving your emotional intelligence. The point is, invest in yourself first. When you do that, you won't just be waiting for a man to complete your life. You'll be living a full, rich life that anyone would want to be a part of. Part 5. The importance of emotional intelligence and communication. All right, now we've talked about genuine connections and cultivating your own value. But there's one more key element that often gets overlooked in relationships, and it can make or break the bond you build with someone. Emotional intelligence and communication. Let's face it, relationships, especially with someone who has reached a high level of success, require emotional maturity. It's not just about sharing cute moments or having fun together. It's about how you communicate, how you handle conflicts, and how you can emotionally connect with each other on a deeper level. And this is where emotional intelligence, EQ, plays a huge role. Now, emotional intelligence is essentially the ability to recognize, understand, and manage your own emotions, while also being able to recognize and understand the emotions of others. Why is this important? Because in a relationship, things are bound to get complicated at times. There will be moments of stress, miscommunication, or differing opinions. The key is to navigate these moments with grace, patience, and understanding. And that's where EQ comes in. Imagine this. You and the man you're seeing are having a disagreement. Maybe you want to do something, but he has a different view, or doesn't fully agree. The natural reaction might be to become defensive or upset. But if you have emotional intelligence, you'll be able to take a step back, recognize your emotions, and respond calmly. You can express your thoughts in a way that invites conversation instead of conflict. You'll know how to listen to what he's feeling, even if he doesn't say it outright. I'll give you a practical example. Let's say you're at a fancy dinner with this guy, and he says something that, in the past, might have hurt your feelings. Instead of reacting immediately, you take a deep breath. You realize that maybe it wasn't his intention to hurt you, or maybe he's just stressed about something else in his life. You choose to stay calm and communicate clearly. I know that's not what you meant, but when you said that, I felt a little hurt. In doing so, you're not just defending yourself. You're also giving him the chance to understand you better and grow closer in the process. On the other hand, if you lack emotional intelligence and you constantly react from a place of insecurity or defensiveness, it can create unnecessary tension. And with someone who's already established in their success and emotions, this can feel draining. They might even start to shut down or disengage because the emotional atmosphere feels chaotic rather than nurturing. Successful men, like anyone, want peace and understanding in a relationship. They don't want to feel like they're walking on eggshells or constantly dealing with unnecessary drama. It's important to remember that emotional intelligence is learnable. It's not something you either have or don't have. And the best part is, you don't have to be perfect at it, you just need to be willing to learn, grow, and adapt. But EQ isn't just about conflict resolution. It's also about how you celebrate each other's wins. Think about how much a small moment of support can mean to someone. If he shares an accomplishment with you, being genuinely happy for him, not out of obligation, but because you truly care, shows that you understand what matters to him. That's a huge way to foster intimacy. Here's the bottom line. When you communicate openly and manage your emotions well, you build a foundation of trust and mutual respect. You become a safe space for each other to grow, to be vulnerable, and to thrive in the relationship. Whether it's celebrating good times or navigating tough moments, emotional intelligence and strong communication can take any relationship to the next level. So if you're looking to attract a successful man, remember that it's not just about external beauty or common interests. It's about how you connect emotionally, and that's something no amount of wealth can buy. Part 6. The balance of independence and partnership. Now, as we've explored emotional intelligence and communication, there's another crucial element I want to dive into: the balance of independence and partnership. And trust me, this is something that makes a world of difference, especially when you're dating someone successful. Here's the thing. Successful people, especially men who have built their wealth and career value independence, and not just in terms of finances, but also emotionally and personally. They've spent years working hard to carve out their own path, and they appreciate someone who can do the same. So, it's important that you bring your own strength to the table, whether that's your career, your passions, your hobbies, or your ambitions. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking, but if I'm independent, does that mean I can't lean on him or need him? Of course not. But the difference lies in how you lean. You can have your own life and goals while still being supportive of each other. In fact, having your own independence actually enhances the relationship. It creates a space for you to bring new things to the table and engage with each other in a way that doesn't feel suffocating. Let me give you a scenario. Imagine you're with this man, and he's been working hard all week. On a Saturday afternoon, you're planning to go out together, but you realize you've got a project or hobby you've been putting off. If you're someone who's driven and independent, you might decide to spend that time working on your passion, but you also let him know, "Hey, I'd love to spend time with you later, but I've got a project to finish." You're not asking for permission, you're just sharing your world. And when you do this, it shows that you value both your relationship and your personal space. This sense of independence also helps to prevent codependency in relationships, which is something that can often creep up when one person is more successful or established than the other. Codependency is when you rely so much on the other person that you lose yourself. With a successful partner, it's important to remember that you are enough on your own. You don't need to rely on him for validation, for your happiness, or for your sense of self-worth. But while independence is vital, so is the ability to nurture the partnership and foster closeness. Partnerships require effort and teamwork. If you want the relationship to grow, you both need to contribute equally, whether it's in emotional support, making decisions together, or showing up for each other. It's a balancing act between being your own person and working as a team. Here's a simple example of this balance. Let's say he's had a stressful week at work. You're independent enough to have your own hobbies and friends, but you also know how to show him you care. So you text him, "I know this week's been tough. I'm here if you need to talk." And then, after respecting his space, you make plans for a relaxing weekend together. This doesn't mean you've lost your independence. It means you've shown him that even with your own world, you are there for him as a partner. And don't forget, it goes both ways. He too needs to show that he values your independence, your career, your interests. This mutual respect for each other's space is what makes the relationship healthy and sustainable. In the end, relationships work when both people feel fulfilled and whole on their own, but also find strength and support when they come together. So my advice? Don't lose yourself in the relationship. Keep nurturing your personal growth and pursuits, but at the same time, be there for him, because when you're both complete individuals who choose to come together, that's where the real magic happens. Conclusion: building a meaningful and lasting connection. As we wrap up today's conversation, I want to leave you with this key takeaway. Dating someone successful doesn't mean you need to lose yourself. In fact, it's about finding ways to complement each other and build a relationship that is built on mutual respect, trust, and understanding. The most important thing is to remain authentic to who you are, your goals, your values, and your dreams. By doing so, you not only create a deeper connection with him, but you also elevate yourself and your own sense of self-worth. Remember, success in a relationship, especially with someone who's worked hard to get where they are, is a two-way street. It's about emotional intelligence, clear communication, and maintaining a balance between independence and partnership. You want to be someone who adds value to the relationship, but you also want to ensure that you are valued for who you are, not just for who you are with him. I understand that it can feel overwhelming at times, but trust me when I say this. The right man will appreciate your authenticity and your ability to stand on your own 2 feet. He won't just be drawn to your beauty or your charm. He'll respect you for your strength, your ambition, and your capacity to contribute to the relationship in meaningful ways. In the end, the goal isn't just to date a successful person. It's to build a connection that is real, genuine, and fulfilling for both of you. You want to be in a partnership where both of you grow together and encourage each other to reach new heights. So, take a step back and ask yourself, are you ready to bring your best self into a relationship? Are you ready to be not just his partner, but also the best version of yourself? Independent, strong, and emotionally intelligent? Because if you are, then trust me, you'll be on the right path. Thank you for listening today. I hope these insights give you some clarity and confidence as you navigate your own relationship journey. Remember, you are worthy of a love that elevates you, challenges you, and inspires you to be your best self.